What's up, everybody? It's Cody, and we are here. Opening night, Wnba season, Draftkings, $20,000 to first. First, before we get started, let's just scroll on down here and let's go ahead and put Skylar Diggins-Smith in every lineup we make because DraftKings hates everyone and made one of the best players in the WNBA an absolute joke of a price. The worst misprice I've ever seen across any DFS sport I've ever played. She easily should be $5,000 more. Absolute must play. You're just donating money if you don't play her. Get different elsewhere. But with that out of the way, I went over it in my FanDuel breakdown, but we'll go over it here as well. We'll go look at some spreads. All three have went down. They still don't have the Fever Sun game up. It was at 5.5. I'm sure it's come down. They're still waiting on some news. Liberty, 13-point favorites. They were at 13.5. Aces, 13.5. They were at 14. And the Storm were at 10.5. Is now 10. All those numbers seem a little wide to me still, except maybe the Liberty and over the Mystics. No over and unders yet, obviously, but lots of big spreads. The difference in teams this year is wide from the good teams to the bad teams. Let's start with the New York Liberty. We'll go team by team and break this down. Obviously, Stewie at the top, sub 11K. Obviously, love her. The matchup is good. It's not the best, but you obviously, against Washington, you want to try to avoid Atkins or Sykes on defense, and Stewie will do that. Obviously, she has immense upside. I mean, she can pop 50. She has 60-point upside. She hit 60 numerous times last year. There's another 60 bomb. 75. I mean, she has some of the best upside in the game. She does a little bit of everything. So obviously, she's a great play. And I mean, being able to play Skylar Diggins-Smith for sub 5K, I mean, everyone is in play here, and you'll be able to fit numerous stars in your lineups. I really like Jonquel Jones, especially if Washington starts Dolson at the 5 and moves Austin to the 4 to guard Stewie. Jones would just work Dolson everywhere. She obviously has some foul concerns, and she can be a little inconsistent, but she has a high floor and can really pop. There's 53, 44, 57. Now, it really depends. Like, obviously, these are games in the postseason where she's playing a ton of minutes. If you look back in the regular season, I mean, she could be down 29 minutes, 27 minutes, 27 minutes, 21, 18. Obviously, that's a huge blowout. Really just depends. I mean, she could shoot bad and get benched. She's 1 for 8. There's just not a lot of depth on this team, so I think she's going to have to play more. I mean, Dolson was here last year. There's not a lot of bigs that can come in and replace her. Obviously, Sabrina Ionescu, extremely high ceiling, pretty low floor. Her assist upside is way down from years past. Obviously, Sloot was here last year and took a lot of her assist numbers away, but Sabrina can pop really any slate. 9,300 is a good price. If the shots are falling, I mean, she could win you a GPP. Sloot, the price is good. She's just not asked to do a lot, but if she scores in the high teens, I mean, she'll be optimal. She's not asked to do much scoring, but anytime she does score well, it's because she had a good shooting night or just hits every shot she takes. Banaja Laney, 7,700. It's fine. I just don't think you have to play her on a slate like this. I have no interest in anyone else except maybe Kayla Thornton, but once again, don't really have to play her on a slate like this when you already have such clear value in Skylar Diggins-Smith. Moving on to Washington, this team is not going to be very good. Sadly, they lost EDD. She's sitting the season out. Natasha Cloud left in free agency. There's a lot of turnover here. Sykes is back. 9,600 is steep, but I mean, her and Atkins are going to dominate the usage on offense, so don't mind her as a contrarian spend up. Atkins, I would prefer for the discount. She also gets the Sabrina matchup, which if you've played WNBA DFS before, there's a few players we like to target. Sabrina Nescu's defense is absolutely one of them, so Atkins should get Sabrina matchup, so take that into consideration if you want to play her. Misha Hines-Allen, not interested at 7,500, especially if she's coming off the bench. Samuelson seems priced up for some reason. She's not a very good point per minute player, so not much interest in her. Austin, if the minutes are there, the price is good. I just worry about them limiting her a little bit coming off the hip injury and all the new bigs that they have. One of them being Aaliyah Edwards. The price is a little steep for her. I just don't think she's going to play enough minutes to pay that off. Shatori Walker-Kimbrough is fine at 5,200. She's just not a very good point per minute player, so you have to know what you're getting. I don't think you really have to play her. Dolson, I do have interest in at 4,200. Especially if she starts, she would be one of the best values on the slate if she starts. Like she has both preseason games, so I am expecting her to start and contribute. So 4,200, that's a great price for a solid value option. I mean, I wouldn't expect her to come out and drop 30 fantasy points or anything, but at 4,200, I mean, if she gets 15 fantasy points, you're extremely excited. Moving on, Indiana and Connecticut. We'll start on the Indiana side. They priced Aaliyah Boston up. I'm happy. I really expect her to take a massive leap forward this year. She has incredible upside, as if this game is competitive like I think it will be, they'll play their starters a ton. Indiana has no problem, and Connecticut has no problem running their starters into the ground. Boston has big minute upside. I mean, 36 minutes. There's an overtime game where she played 45. There's 37, 34, 33, 35. I mean, she could play huge minutes. Now, every now and then you're going to get a game like this, 24, but they lost by a million. 29, they lost by a lot. If there is a blowout, they will get pulled. That's the only worry. I just don't think this team is going to get blowed out by many teams anymore with Caitlin Clark on the team and the expected offensive production from this team. I think they're going to be able to play with pretty much everyone in the league. Caitlin Clark comes in 8,900 for her debut. Obviously, just ridiculous upside for a player of her ability. The price is pretty steep. I think it will keep some people away. I would play her. I mean, I have no issues playing her at that price, especially with the other value. Pretty much everyone is in play just because there's so much value to be had. Nalissa Smith, 8,300. If she stays out of foul trouble, she's looked really good this preseason. She's probably outshined Boston, honestly. She has a good offensive game that stretches out to the three-point line. She'll crash the boards. I have no issues playing her or paying up for Boston. Mitchell has not played this preseason. They said she is iffy to play in the opener. I expect her to play, but I have no interest in her at 7,900. I just think the emergence of Clark coming in, she's going to just kill all of K. Mitch's upside. I mean, she's scoring dependent anyway. You're taking half of her shots away, maybe even more. I just have no interest in her unless there's an injury this season. Same can be said for Wheeler. I just can't pay 6,800. I don't think she starts. If she does, I still probably can't play her. Not really interested in Wallace or Berger. I think both of them will play a little off the bench. Not a lot. Same with Hull. She's just not a very good point per minute player. But down here, Katie Lou Samuelson. 3,000, the flat min, and will probably be a starter on opening night for 3,000 Draftkings dollars. If you play her with Skylar Diggins-Smith, you can pretty much play whoever else you want. Whatever else you want to do. Obviously, it would hurt if she's not starting. I expect her to start. She just fits the 3 and D. I don't expect them to run 3 guards. So if Samuelson starts at the flat men, obviously have interest in her. Moving on to Connecticut, obviously Alyssa Thomas, nothing more needs to be said. If she's scoring, she has break the slate upside any night because she's always going to get the peripherals. You got Dewana Bonner, 10K, little pricey, but like Alyssa Thomas, if the shot's falling, she can put up a big number. Bree Jones, if there's no minutes limit, if it comes out and there's no minutes limit, she is massively underpriced at 8,200. She should be mid 9K and pushing 10K. She has really, really high scoring upside. She also has a lot of foul problems. Looky here. Indiana last year, she played 26 minutes, 30 points. She fouled out. Washington, 27 minutes, 36 fantasy points. If you look, a lot of games where she's fouled out. 6 fouls, 5 fouls, 4 fouls, 3, 4, 5. There's another 5, another foul out game, another 5. And of course, she tore her Achilles in the middle of the season last year, so you worry about them easing her back in. She only played 10 minutes in this latest preseason game. My worry is they ease her back in, but if she is not on a minutes limit, the price is too low on Breonna Jones. I will just put it out there right there for everyone to know. If she's not on a minutes limit, that is a great price. Mariah Jefferson, I don't like the price. Same thing for Tiffany Mitchell. I just don't know how they're going to work this guard rotation yet. I haven't seen all of them play together, and they've been splitting the minutes in the preseason for the ones that have been playing. No interest in Olivia Nelson-Dodota unless we hear maybe Bree Jones on a minutes limit. Even then, at 5,400, there's better plays that are cheaper. DeJounte Carrington, I do have interest in at 5,200. She started, and she has been shooting the ball. She's someone that can put up a big score. She had a lot of big games last year for him when she stepped into the starting lineup. Even coming off the bench, they've extended her. Tisha Harris, I'm indifferent on. Bantam come in this last preseason game and shot the lights out. She obviously has upside if the three's falling. They'll extend her. She's someone you can consider. But moving on to the late games, Phoenix and Vegas. BG is playing. It says out for the preseason game tonight. 9,200 is a solid price for her, especially if this game stays competitive. She's going to be the one leading the charge. Clea Copper, 9,100. Probably a fade for me. I haven't seen enough of her on this team. The one game I did watch for this preseason, they did not look like they meshed well at all. I've made my thoughts known that I do not like Natasha Cloud on this team. I just don't think that's going to work at all. So therefore, I have no interest in Natasha Cloud at 8,800. I'm sorry. I think she should be 7K at most. Diana Taurasi, 8,600. Seems priced about right. She's going to shoot it. I mean, she's the GOAT. We'll see what happens. She can pop for huge scores. She's shown it even last year. She's shown what she can do. 45, 43, 40. But she also has this. 23 minutes, 0 for 6, single-digit fantasy points. Then an 11 fantasy point night. 15. She is the ultimate boomer bust. There's a 50 bomb. She is boomer bust. Great tournament play. Obviously, she can carry you to the top or sink you. One or the other. Sugg Sutton, 8,500. Zero interest. Rebecca Allen, 7,400 off the bench. It's really hard for me to click her. Sophie, 7,100. Not much interest in. Now she's the fourth option on offense. She's a 3-and-D girl. If she hits her threes, she might be able to pay that off, but there's just better plays out there. Bench plays, I really have nothing. This team, I don't know. This squad could fall apart really fast. As for the defending champ, or actually the back-to-back defending champ, Aces, obviously Asia Wilson, 11-6, one of the best players in the WNBA, the best player in my opinion, worth every penny. I mean, she goes out and is just uber consistent almost every time out. If the game is competitive, she's crushing. 35, 42, 45, 35, 39. There's a 58. There's a 50, a 53, a 51, 54, 62. I mean, she has just as much upside as Stewie does, but she does more like on the defensive end. She's going to get blocks. She's going to get more rebounds. I really like Asia if you can afford her. And on a slate like this, it's not very hard not to afford her. Chelsea Gray at 9,700 is fine. She's a solid contrarian play. I'm not going to rush to put her in the lineup. Jackie Young, 9,400. Don't mind her. She's going to get you some peripherals and can pop every now and then as well. I mean, she's shown 50-point upside when the shots are falling. So she also has a lower floor, so just be wary of that. Good tournament play. I love Kelsey Plum. 8,700 is too cheap in my opinion. She also gets the Diana Taurasi matchup, and those that have watched Diana Taurasi play basketball the last couple of years, she does not like to play defense. So if you look at what Kelsey Plum has done to Phoenix, not just in the past, but this last season, let's see. There's a Phoenix game. She went for 36.5. There's a Phoenix game. She went for 30, shot 6 of 15. There's more Phoenix games. Yep, there's a back-to-back. She shot 5 of 15 and went for 31. Then she shot 12 of 19 and went for 44. She has slate-breaking upside in a matchup that she should dominate. She historically has dominated Diana Taurasi on the defensive end, so I really like her as a tournament play. Gustafson, I expect to start, and at 6,500, people don't realize how small Phoenix's starting lineup is going to be. They're going to trot out Natasha Cloud, Diana Taurasi, Sophie Cunningham, Kalia Copper, and Brittany Griner. Obviously, BG is big. She's going to clog up the middle, but that means that Kalia Copper is going to be asked to guard Megan Gustafson. That is not a good matchup for Kalia Copper. Gustafson can back her down. She's a great post player. She's a fantasy point per minute player. Most people don't realize that. And coming to a team like this, I think she can hold that fantasy point per minute. I am a little worried that they may start Kia Stokes over to start the year, but I hope they start Gustafson just because she offers more and can do more than Stokes can. If she starts, I really like the price, and I don't think many people will play her. Not really any interest in Clark or Stokes at those prices. They're just not very good fantasy point per minute players. Moving on to the last game of the night, Minnesota and Seattle will start on the Minnesota side. Fee is 10-9. She started going nuts late in the season last year. She has huge upside. She'll play practically the entire game if it's close. And this game should just be a track meet. There should not be much defense being played. She probably has the most shot attempts of anyone on the slate on opening night. I mean, 40, 50, 40, 50, 50, 60. She can pop. She'll get the rebounds. I mean, 10, 17, 16, 8, 10, 13. She's not going to give many assists. She has some block and steal upside. I do think Courtney Williams hurts her peripheral stats, but when you can shoot the ball as well as she can and you're the clear number one on offense, I have a lot of interest in Fee. Courtney Williams herself at 9,500 is a great tournament play. She's expensive, but has a great matchup in a high pace-up spot, and she played for Chicago last year. She joined the Lynx this offseason, but she put together a bunch of games where she popped. I mean, 43, 51, 48. If the shots are falling for her, she's going to post a huge score because she is really, really good at getting peripherals. assists, blocks, steals, rebounds. She'll pitch in everywhere. I mean, here you got a 14, 7, and 7 stat line. I really like her for tournaments. She is a bit overpriced in my opinion, but that makes her more appealing for tournaments. Kayla McBride, 9K, no interest at that price. Dorka hasn't played this preseason. 8K is a little steep for her with other people around that price just better. Diamond Miller, 7,300. The price is okay. I just don't think she's needed on a slate like this. Alana Smith will probably come off the bench unless she starts over Dorka. She has great block and steal upside, but she has massive foul concerns. If she can stay out of foul trouble and she starts, I don't mind her. Heidemann, I just can't play. She's just been so bad in massive minutes last year for Connecticut. They practically would just bench her out of the blue. Here's a game where she played 33 minutes, shot 1 of 8, and scored 10 fantasy points. I mean, here's a game she played 14 minutes and got benched and scored 2.5 fantasy points. I mean, she has a low floor, and I don't even think she starts for this team. And so if she's not starting, I have zero interest. I wouldn't play her at 4K, let alone at 6. The bench, I'm kind of interested to see what they do. I think Peely, their rookie, gets a lot of run. She's a solid player, can play a few different positions. Really interested to see how they use her. Carlton is fine. Not really interested at that price. Let's move to Seattle. Obviously, already got Skylar Diggins-Smith over here. I still can't believe they priced her like this. Good God. That's just blasphemy. Lloyd, 11K. Like we're stuck on last year, I guess. Decent contrarian spend up. I mean, she's the 11K is you're paying for last year's Joel Lloyd, who's shot 30 times, 22 times, 25, 20. She's not going to put up that many shots this season. She's going to have to be efficient, and with all the prolific scorers around her in Skylar Diggins-Smith, NECA, I struggle to see her paying off 11,000. I just don't see it. If she has an exceptional shooting night, obviously she will, and she will be very low owned. So for tournaments, I don't mind going to her. It's just tough. NECA at 10-2 is fine. She played a lot better in their second preseason game. She looked a whole lot more comfortable. The price is about right for her. I have no issues if you want to play her. Ezzy at 9,900 seems a bit steep for me, but she's fine. Whitcomb at 7,800 probably out for me. That price seems a little high. Her or Horston will probably start. They could go with Vivian's. They have both preseason games. If they start Vivian's at 5,300, she's fine. I just worry about her starting slow, and then they pull her for Whitcomb or Horston. So keep that in mind. She does have some risk to get pulled if she's not playing well. Russell, 6,400, no interest. I went over Whitcomb and Horston. They're fine. Especially if one of them starts, I'd have a little bit more interest in. Nobody down here I have much interest in. So that'll wrap it up for opening night tip-off on the Draftkings site. Good luck to everybody. And if you want to see more content like this, leave a like on the video to help it reach more people. Subscribe and ring the notification bell so you can stay in line all season. And I hope to see some people up top. See ya.